Okay, the first thing that we need to do is to prepare our stock for the soup. So we're going to use some spring onion, some garlic, a little bit of stock powder, some water, and we're going to cook the chicken with that, as well as some coriander stems. The stems from the coriander are the ones that have all the flavour. So I'm just going to quickly prepare all of that. So we don't really need to use all of the green, we're just going to use this bit here, just the stalk. So just add that to our pot. Some garlic, and just prepare the garlic. Just take the skin off. A couple of cloves of garlic, nice and simply. And then to get some of the flavour out from the garlic, we just, the flat of the blade, just crush the garlic there, and we're just going to kind of chop that up like so. And we'll just put all of that into our pan as well. Now, so the coriander stalks, we're going to save the leaves because we can use some of that for garnish. This is just some odd bits here. So we're just going to take the leaves off and just put the stalks in kind of in a larger size there, because the stalks are the ones that have lots of the flavour. We'll keep all our leaves set aside. Put our stalks in like so. Okay, then the next is we've just got 2 breast fillets of chicken. Just going to put them in as well, just whole, because we'll be preparing those later. Alright, so here's our pan filled with stuff. I'm just going to pour in, just got a litre of water, which should be enough to cover our chicken there. So this is going to prepare the stock. We're going to eat everything that's in there as well. We'll turn it on to a medium heat, let that boil for half an hour or so. The chicken should then be nice and tender. The flavour from the chicken will come out. Okay, so we've added our water. We've just turned the heat up. Just going to add a little bit of stock, just for salt factor and a little bit of extra flavour there. We'll put the lid on that and we'll bring that up to a nice low boil. Okay, so today's dish, we have potatoes. We don't just have one type of potato or 2. In fact, we have 3 different types of potatoes in this dish. Now, this dish calls for the different types of potatoes because some are going to fall apart and thicken the stew, and others are going to remain whole, so that we have our whole potato chunks within the stew. We have a red skinned potato, a white skinned potato, and a yellow potato, which is yellow fleshed potato. Now, the reason that we have this is that there's so many different varieties of potatoes. I could say you need to get a Desiree potato, or you need to get a Dutch cream potato, what have you. It's going to be hard for you to find those potatoes. So if we have 3 different types of potatoes, things are going to work nicely. So part of the potato will fall apart, part of it will stay together, and that kind of thing. The dish from Colombia, one of the key components is actually a special potato from Colombia, which is papa criollas, and you can find it in some Latin supermarkets in Australia. It's a bit hard to find. Freezer section is where you'll be able to find them. They're quite expensive, and to get them anywhere other than from the shop means they have to be sent and they have to be couriered, so costs go up. So what I recommend is the little yellow, find some little yellow fleshed potatoes. I bought these from just a local market. You should be able to find some. If in doubt, just buy some tiny potatoes from the supermarket. Kipfler potatoes may also work in there. So what we're going to do with the potatoes is we're going to peel the red and white potatoes, and we're going to cut them into chunks. And the small potatoes, we're going to leave the skin on, and we're going to cut them in half, and we're going to put them in. Okay, we need to peel our potatoes. So nice and simply get our potatoes peeled. Once we've peeled our potatoes, as I said, we're just going to cut them into chunks. And we'll halve these. Right, so we'll set these aside. And we'll move on to our creams. So I'll cut these up to the same size as the other ones. Obviously, if you keep them a reasonably uniform size, then that's going to help them to cook a bit better. Now, if we just have a bit of a look here at the potatoes, you can see here already that there's quite a different colour between these are the cream ones. So it's quite a white, and then we've got a reasonable yellow here from our ones that had the red skin on them. So they're obviously going to do something reasonably different. Okay, next thing we need to do is we need to get our small little, would love them to be Andean potatoes. Okay, we're just going to cut them in half and pop them in with the other potatoes as well. And we're done. Okay, the other component is corn, and we've just got some corn on the cob here. This is nice, bright, yellow Australian sweet corn. Obviously, there's a lot of options in South America for corn. Corn, like potatoes, originated from South America, and so there's hundreds and hundreds of varieties available. We're just going to use this, and how we're going to prepare this is pretty simple. Is we're just going to cut it either into thirds or in halves. These are reasonably long size, so I'm just going to cut these into thirds. Okay, and I've got those two, and I'm just going to put them aside, and we'll put those in with the potatoes. One of the key things for this dish is the herbs that are involved, and this specific one comes from Colombia, and it's a bit hard to find. I've got a list of places you'll be able to get it online. Okay, once the chicken is cooked and ready, we're going to just take it out. Pot and sit it on our plate here. Take our corn, put our corn into our pot, and I'm going to get our potatoes, and we're going to add our potatoes to our pot as well. Okay, we also need to add the herbs to the mix, so we're going to put that in now. Just mix that in and then bring it to the boil and cook for about 20 minutes until the potatoes are soft. Okay, so the potatoes starting to cook, and if you have a look in here, you can see some white bits from the potato that's starting to fall apart. There we go, and that means that one of the potato varieties is already starting to fall apart, which is great because that's going to thicken the stew. So we'll just let this to cook for a little bit longer. We've cut our bits of chicken nice and cool into a bit smaller size than we cut the potato. So that's now ready to go back into the soup when the potatoes are finished. Okay, so our potatoes are now cooked. I'm just going to put in our bit of chicken, mix it around, and then serve it up. Alright, ready to serve up our Ajiaco. So as you can see, nice big mix. Going to serve into a bowl with some capers and some cream on top, as is a bit of tradition. So make sure that everybody has each little bit of goodness. As you can see, there's some real broken down potatoes and some really good full chunks of potato. Make sure everyone gets it.